You in this bitch, you did $1 million. That's what that cost. You did.
Well, he's still going. He's still mad.
Nigga argue with Offset, y'all.
That's only a picture, goddamn.
Offset, one-third of Migos, once moved like royalty in hip-hop, sitting at the very top with hits and headlines on lock. Now the picture looks way different. He's laid up in a hospital bed after getting shot at a Florida casino, all tied to gambling drama that kept stacking up. Word is, things got so tight he was even reaching out to his estranged wife, Cardi B, trying to stay afloat while everything around him started crashing down. The road to this moment didn't just happen overnight. It kicked off inside a casino on a tense Monday night, where everything spiraled fast. On the evening of April 6, 2026, things turned serious near the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Offset was shot and quickly rushed to Memorial Regional Hospital, with his team confirming the situation wasn't minor at all. They made it clear he's alive, stable, but under close watch as doctors keep eyes on every move.
In case you missed it, Offset got shot tonight at a Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Florida. We don't know actually a lot of details as to what happened or why this is going on. There was a video release, which I honestly actively tried to avoid because I feel like the videos sometimes they cross the line a little bit to me. Now, from what we've gathered, there was an altercation at the hotel, gunshots rang out, and 2 people were actually arrested at the hotel. It seems like the situation got contained very quickly. Like I said, I didn't watch the video, but I did scroll past a social media post that was like, look at this video, and it said Offset and rapper TJ was also in the video. I do not know that to be true because I won't be watching the video, but also has not been reported, so.
Behind the scenes, tension was already high, and what went down that night only made everything louder and more chaotic. Then the internet lit up like wildfire. Footage started spreading everywhere, showing the moment Lil TJ allegedly stepped in and opened fire inside the casino, turning a flashy spot into pure panic. Reports pointed to a $10,000 gambling debt Offset allegedly refused to settle, but that number barely scratched the surface. Sources claim the real total could be pushing $900,000 from borrowed money tied to gambling, painting a picture that's way deeper than one quick dispute. This situation didn't come out of nowhere either. The friction between Offset and Lil TJ had been building for months, heating up way before shots were fired back in January 2025. TJ jumped on a Twitch stream and went off, claiming Offset was leaning on Cardi for support and battling a serious gambling habit. He even said he saw Offset asking people for money inside a casino, putting everything out there with zero filter. From that moment, tension was out in the open, and it only kept growing louder. He didn't hold back at all. Lil TJ kept calling Offset broke, putting his name out there and claiming the Migos rapper owed him $10,000 from a gambling debt that never got settled. He took it everywhere. Instagram, Twitch, interviews, any platform he could reach, he used it to push that same message loud and clear. According to TJ, Offset was borrowing money left and right and not paying it back, and he made sure people heard that story again and again until it stuck. Then that Monday night in Hollywood, Florida, fate lined them up face-to-face once more, and things got real instantly. The whole situation went down at the Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood, where both artists just happened to be in the same place at the same time. What started as tension quickly turned physical, with reports saying the situation jumped from heated words to fists flying, and then suddenly, gunfire rang out, sending people into caves. After everything unfolded, Lil TJ was detained right outside the casino, with law enforcement stepping in fast to regain control of the scene. According to the Seminole Police Department, the Bronx rapper was charged with disorderly conduct, a first-degree misdemeanor under Florida law. But that's where things get even more surprising.
We've got some tragic news tonight as the rapper Offset has reportedly been shot at the Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Now, according to a spokesperson, he's fine, in stable condition, and is just resting up at the hospital, which honestly, thank God for that. But a situation like this just begs the question, what the heck could have possibly happened to where somebody's escalating a situation to shoot Offset? According to TMZ, 2 individuals were arrested pretty quickly right after it happened, and the whole situation was contained.
Despite all the noise around the shooting, officials did not hit him with any weapon-related charges at all, which raised a lot of eyebrows. His legal team wasted no time jumping in, trying to shut down the rumors before they spread even further. Attorney Don M. Florio came through with a strong statement, making it clear. Lil TJ has not been shot, nor has Lil TJ been charged with any shooting. Any reporting to the contrary is false. That message was meant to draw a hard line between what actually happened and what people were assuming online. Then things took another wild turn. TMZ dropped an exclusive clip showing Offset for the first time. After the incident, casually smoking while wearing a hospital gown, and the internet instantly lost it. People couldn't believe what they were seeing, and the reactions flooded in from every direction. Once Lil TJ got out, he didn't stay quiet either. He came back even louder, calling Offset a rat on camera and stirring things up again. He claimed Offset pointed him out to authorities after the shooting, even mocking the moment and acting it out, saying Offset was basically signaling, "That's him." And just like that, the drama exploded to a whole new level. So now the image is wild to look at. Offset, shot inside a casino, stuck in a hospital, caught on camera casually smoking in a gown, and at the same time getting labeled a snitch by the same man he allegedly owed money to. The whole situation feels chaotic, but that shooting wasn't the full story. It was just a loud warning sign of something deeper going on. The real question people kept asking wasn't only who pulled the trigger, it was how did Offset even get to a place where he needed to borrow money from Lil TJ at all?
Damn, they trying to get all Amigos up out of here, right? It's being reported that Offset was shot near Florida casino. Y'all know Offset always was at the damn casino. That man like gambling, fool. They said they transported him to the hospital where he's in stable condition with non-life-threatening injuries. So somebody probably gave him a little $150 in the arm somewhere type shit, or in the leg. Situations like this just make you think. Life is short.
To really understand that, you have to rewind back to where the money first started flowing in heavy. Offset, born Kiari Kendrell Cephas, built his name as one-third of the Atlanta rap trio Migos, alongside Quavo and the late Takeoff. Together, they didn't just make music, they shaped an entire wave in hip-hop with massive products like Young Rich Nation, Culture, Culture 2, and Culture 3. Every release stacked more fame, more attention, and way more money onto their name, turning them into global stars almost overnight. Before the group split in 2023, they were bringing in numbers that most artists could only dream about. From September 2017 to September 2018, Migos reportedly pulled in around $25 million, powered by a non-stop tour schedule that had them performing 93 shows in just 12 months. Then they leveled up even more from September 2018 to September 2019. Their earnings jumped to about $36 million, showing just how unstoppable their run really was at that time. They weren't just artists, they were everywhere, setting trends and living big with designer fits, heavy chains, luxury cars, and a lifestyle that looked endless from the outside, but behind all that shine, things weren't as solid as they seemed. Tension inside the group had been building quietly, and reports started surfacing that personal issues, including claims involving Offset and someone close to Quavo, caused serious damage to their bond. What looked like success on the surface was slowly cracking underneath, and those cracks would eventually change everything.
As I was about to take it in for the night, I got many DMs. Offset shots here in Florida at the Hard Rock Casino. Wowzers. Oh, now I know what y'all expected me to do. Y'all expected me to ha-ha kiki ha-ha hiana. No, ma'am. Despite how he did my sister and what he put her through, that still is the father of my sister's kids. And we will not make a mockery.
Keep this in mind, it wasn't just music tying them together, it was family. Quavo is Takeoff's uncle and Offset is Quavo's cousin, which made everything way deeper than business deals or contracts. When things started falling apart, it didn't just hit their careers, it hit their personal lives. Hard, turning a tight-knit circle into something fractured and tense. This wasn't just a group splitting up, it was family breaking apart in real time, and that kind of damage doesn't just disappear. Then came a moment that shook everything to the core. Takeoff was tragically killed outside a Houston bowling alley on November 1st, 2022, during an argument tied to a dice game he wasn't even part of. He was only 28 years old, and police described him as an innocent bystander, which made the whole situation even more painful to process. The connection feels chilling. A gambling-related situation took Takeoff's life, and years later, another gambling dispute ends with Offset getting shot, almost like history repeating itself in a different way. Even before everything fully collapsed, Offset was already dealing with serious pressure behind the scenes. He got caught up in a legal battle with Quality Control Music, accusing the label of trying to control his solo career, even after he reportedly paid millions to secure rights to his own work. The lawsuit eventually got dropped, but by then the toll had already hit. Time wasted, money drained, and energy completely burned out trying to fight behind closed doors. His solo career, which once looked full of momentum, started losing steam as time went on. After Father of Four debuted strong at number 4 on the Billboard 200, expectations were high, but the follow-up projects didn't hit the same way commercially. Reports claimed his third studio album struggled, failing to bring in the kind of numbers needed to keep everything afloat. Meanwhile, the income slowed down, but the lifestyle didn't. Huge homes, expensive jewelry, cars, and a full entourage still needed constant money coming in, and that gap only kept getting bigger. While Offset was dealing with all this pressure, Cardi B, his estranged wife, was moving in the complete opposite direction, breaking records and stacking millions like it was nothing. The gap between them started looking impossible to ignore.
We're gonna have to wait to see about that one. My instinct says that's not true though, because the police officer over there basically said that there was an individual that suffered gunshot wound, not 2 individuals. And the post was saying that TJ got hit too. Thankfully, Offset is okay though. He is in stable condition. He is not in critical condition, which is obviously very important, but they're gonna continue monitoring him over the next day or 2. I immediately read this headline and was like, bro, not again, because we already lost Takeoff in the exact same way. That would have been crazy. I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's stable and seems to be walking away with this with just minor injuries.
Offset's estimated net worth was sitting around $40 million, while Cardi's climbed to about $100 million, and even that $40 million number started raising eyebrows once more details came out. Because behind the scenes, things weren't as solid as they looked. While the music money slowed down, another force was quietly draining what was left. That's when the IRS stepped in, and they didn't come lightly. Offset got hit with a massive $1.5 million tax bill that would make anyone panic just looking at it. The Internal Revenue Service filed official documents on December 26, 2025, placing a lien that claimed he owed exactly $1,575,266.73 for the 2022 tax year. That kind of number isn't something you can brush off, and it instantly put him under serious financial pressure with the government watching closely. What made it worse is that this wasn't even a new issue creeping up. It had already been hanging over him for a while. The lien actually traces back to April 3rd, 2024, meaning this debt had been sitting there, growing heavier over time. And even if one bill got handled, it didn't clear the board at all because more problems kept stacking right behind it. Offset was then hit with another tax lien, this time in the 6-figure range, showing he owed $486,426.35 for 2023 taxes alone.
Because I don't care what you do, ain't nobody worth losing their life. We only get this motherfucker once. I want you to catch hell on earth, not in the afterlife. Yeah, not yet. My chair in each. Now, I did see where he is stable. We don't know just yet. I mean, I will say it just broke not too long ago, so I'm a little early to it. So we don't know all the ins and outs. I did see a video. He was laying on the ground. We don't really know too much after that. I did see where Quay was just put the prayer in hands. And then that's it. That's his brother from another mother. You know, we are gonna keep him up in prayers.
And it didn't stop with federal pressure either. The Georgia Department of Revenue also came knocking in March 2025, claiming he owed around $292,000 tied to 2021 taxes. That original amount started much lower, but once interest, penalties, and fees piled on, it ballooned into something way more serious. Altogether, the documented liens added up to roughly $778,426 beyond the first massive bill, and that's only what's been officially reported, leaving even more questions about how deep the financial situation really goes. Tax liens aren't hidden, they're public record, which means anyone can look them up and see exactly what's going on. In Offset's case, it painted a picture of financial pressure building up fast, with the walls closing in from every direction in real time. This wasn't something happening quietly behind the scenes anymore, it was all out in the open, adding even more tension to an already messy situation. And the tax problems weren't the only thing hitting his pockets. Offset was also dealing with a legal judgment tied to a physical altercation, making things even heavier. A Miami judge reportedly granted 2 individuals a default judgment totaling $232,000 after they claimed Offset struck them in the face, body, and head during an incident. Offset had been trying for months to get that judgment overturned, with a hearing set for February 2026. But until then, that amount was still hanging over him like a storm cloud ready to burst. It just kept stacking up. Another bill, another courtroom, another situation, pulling money out of his hands. When pressure comes from every side like that, tax debts, legal fights, a slowing career, and a lifestyle that still demands serious spending, it creates a dangerous cycle. The urge to hit a big win, to flip everything in one moment, starts to feel like the only way out. And for Offset, that kind of risk was sitting right inside places like the Seminole Hard Rock Casino, where the stakes are high and the losses can hit even harder. Research backs up how risky that path can get. Studies have shown that the rise in sports betting and gambling has been linked to serious financial strain for a lot of people across the country.
And the craziest part about this is he was literally taking pictures with fans, just seeming relaxed, just having a good night. I mean, Hard Rock's right down the street from me, so it's like, yeah, people just go there, have a good time, taking pictures with fans, and then next thing people know, they're hearing gunshots near the valet area. I don't know if there's some kind of disagreement with the valet or someone tried to steal his car or what exactly happened. There's not enough details out there right now, but the good thing is he is okay. I mean, we all remember what happened at Takeoff back in 2022 where he was shot and killed, but just glad that Offset is okay. I should say PSA to everyone out there, just be careful, watch your surroundings. If some look shady, just get away from there. Just don't want anything to happen to y'all. Just drop some prayers for Offset down below and let me know what you think.
A report from the New York Federal Reserve found that in over 30 states where betting is legal, credit scores have taken noticeable hits tied to gambling activity. And it doesn't stop there. Things get even worse in states with online betting, where one study showed a 10% increase in bankruptcy risk and an 8% rise in debt collections. The pattern is clear that the house usually comes out on top. And if reports are true that Offset was dealing with close to $1 million in gambling-related debt, then he was caught right in that cycle with no easy exit. Lil TJ even claimed he personally saw Offset inside a casino looking stressed and panicked, adding another layer to a situation that was already spiraling out of control. That one word, panicking, says more than people realize. It gives a glimpse into just how intense things had gotten behind the scenes, and that's exactly where the Cardi B side of this story starts to hit even harder. This part might be the clearest sign of how far things had fallen for Offset because it goes beyond money and straight into his personal life, where everything was already unstable. Cardi B and Offset first filed for divorce in September 2024, but their relationship had been anything but smooth long before that. They secretly got married back in 2017, and from early on their marriage kept making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Reports of infidelity involving the Migos rapper kept surfacing, creating a pattern of trust issues that never fully went away. Cardi actually filed for divorce once before in September 2020, but they worked things out at the time, only to split again publicly in December 2023.
5, you know how it get. He gets popped. Not us two dicing each other. He gets popped straight to the casino. Goes not. He get another loan from somebody else for like 2 bands. I don't even take my loan. I'm like, that's Offset. I'm good on my money. I'm worried about this. Got mad, bro. I definitely run off for 5 bands. Out of that, he pops.
By July 2024, Cardi filed for divorce again, and this time it looked serious with no turning back. But Offset didn't just step away quietly. He came back with legal moves of his own. In February 2025, he filed for joint custody and even requested spousal support from Cardi, which caught a lot of people off guard and added even more tension to an already messy situation. Then things really exploded online. On May 30th, Cardi B went off on social media after finding out about the spousal support request, and she made sure everyone heard exactly how she felt. She called him a deadbeat dad and accused him of not helping with their children's expenses at all. Cardi broke it down with real numbers, saying she spends $10,000 a month just on a driver to take the kids to school and activities, while their daughter Culture's tuition alone runs about $45,000 a year. She didn't stop there either. Cardi claimed that despite Offset reportedly having a $40 million net worth, he hadn't been contributing to those costs and had left her covering everything for an entire year. She also accused him of barely being present, saying he had only seen their youngest child a handful of times and missed multiple planned visits. Those accusations added a whole new layer to the story, turning it from financial struggles into something much more personal and intense. Then Cardi dropped a statement that really shook everything up and exposed what might have been happening behind closed doors. During a September 2025 livestream on X Spaces, she didn't hold back at all and spoke directly about the situation. She said, the only reason why I'm still married is because somebody wants me to pay for their taxes," making it clear this wasn't just a normal divorce dispute. She kept going, explaining that the only way she could fully walk away was if she covered someone else's tax bills and even handed over one of her properties. She made it even more direct, saying, "I'm practically still married because somebody wants to hold me hostage if I don't give them millions of dollars to get out of it." And all signs pointed straight at Offset.
Because in this very moment, Offset life could have been taken from that bullet. We don't know how many times he got shot, but I'm going to keep y'all updated. And then another thing, I know a lot of BMs be beefing with their BDs and they be saying some off the wall shit. Y'all got to realize that words is powerful, because y'all remember Cardi B was saying some crazy shit. But like I said, I'm going to keep y'all updated and praying for a speedy recovery for Offset.
That statement alone sent shockwaves online because now the situation wasn't just about separation. It was about serious financial demands being tied to their split. According to reports, Offset wasn't just asking for a standard agreement either. It was claimed he filed for spousal support while also arguing that Cardi had left him with the kids during a complicated period in their relationship, adding even more layers to the dispute. At the same time, there were claims about how assets could be divided, with talk of a 70-30 split being pushed in his favor, which immediately raised eyebrows given the gap in their reported net worths. If that kind of split actually went through, it could mean Cardi paying out tens of millions of dollars, with some estimates floating as high as $50 million. Offset reportedly justified it by saying, "I built her brand, I deserve half," standing on the idea that he played a major role in her rise. He allegedly argued that his early support, connections, and visibility during their relationship helped elevate Cardi's career to where it is today, claiming his influence was a key part of her success story. Whether that argument actually holds up is something people still debate heavy. What's not up for debate is what happened next, because by November 2025, reports claimed Offset turned down a $10 million settlement offer from Cardi B. And that number alone shocked people. For most, $10 million would be life-changing, but for him, it reportedly wasn't enough, which only made the situation look even more intense and complicated. At the same time, Cardi B was still moving at full speed with no signs of slowing down. By 2026, her net worth was estimated around $100 million, and she had momentum on every front. A new album titled Am I the Drama?, a high-profile relationship with Stefon Diggs, and a growing family all kept her in the spotlight for the right reasons. Her career was still firing on all cylinders, stacking wins while everything around Offset seemed to be going in the opposite direction fast. Offset's reality looked much heavier. Reports tied his situation to mounting tax liens, ongoing legal judgments, serious gambling debts, and a solo career that wasn't bringing in the same level of income anymore.
Leg shot when it comes to Offset. And it's supposed to be a non-life-threatening wound. But at this point, because he was transported to the hospital,
the contrast was hard to ignore. This was the same man who once showed up to Cardi's concert with $15,000 worth of roses, publicly asking for another chance. Now the dynamic looked completely flipped, with him reportedly reaching out again, but this time driven by financial pressure instead of romance. So after everything, the shooting, the hospital stay, the viral footage, and being called a snitch on camera by Lil TJ, what does the full picture really show? It points to someone stuck in a difficult cycle that keeps tightening over time. Gambling addiction is recognized as a serious behavioral condition, affecting a small percentage of adults but carrying major consequences for those caught in it. The numbers behind it are rough. Studies show that more than 20% of people dealing with compulsive gambling end up filing for bankruptcy, and the strain it puts on personal relationships is just as serious, with divorce rates significantly higher compared to non-gamblers. The pattern tends to repeat, borrowing money from friends, family, or anyone available trying to recover losses, only to fall deeper into the same situation again and again. It usually follows a pattern that keeps getting worse. There's the lying about how much money is really lost, then the pressure kicks in to bet even bigger just to try and recover everything in one shot. When personal funds run dry, the next move often becomes borrowing from anyone available just to stay in the game. That's exactly the kind of situation Lil TJ claimed he witnessed firsthand, and his description painted a tense picture. According to TJ, he saw Offset inside a casino looking stressed and panicking, trying to pull together money from different places just to keep going. He claimed Offset couldn't pay what he owed and said he personally lent him $5,000 during that moment. TJ went further, saying Offset owed him over $10,000 total, and that amount was just one piece of a much bigger situation. Reports suggested the total gambling-related debt could be climbing as high as $900,000, which turns a small dispute into something way more serious.
While confirming that there might have been an incident, they weren't at liberty to tell me, or it's a lot of things going on. This is actually happening right now. So people are in custody right now. This probably happened like an hour ago.
At the same time, the divorce situation with Cardi B still hasn't been resolved. What started back in July 2024 continues dragging on with no final agreement locked in. The reported demands involving money and assets are still being argued over, and the gap between both sides doesn't seem to be closing anytime soon. He reportedly turned down $10 million and is still pushing for more, while everything else around him keeps piling up. While those negotiations stay stuck, the pressure doesn't pause. Bills keep stacking, debts keep growing, and the situation becomes harder to escape by the day. And adding another layer to all this, Lil TJ's own past brings a different kind of weight to the story. Back in 2022, he survived being shot 7 times during a robbery attempt, so he knows exactly how serious these situations can get. That's what makes the casino incident even more intense. Despite that history, things still escalated to gunfire over what started as a reported $10,000 dispute, showing just how fast situations like this can spiral out of control. In certain circles, Offset's story starts to look like a sharp contrast between massive success and very public struggles, all colliding at once in the worst way. On one side, you've got a man who was once part of a group pulling in $36 million in a single year, creating some of the most iconic tracks in modern hip-hop, and married to one of the biggest female rappers of all time. On the flip side, you've got a man lying in a hospital bed with a gunshot wound, drowning in debt and legal troubles, struggling just to stay afloat. Offset reportedly owes money to the IRS, the state of Georgia, Lil TJ, unnamed casino creditors. And according to his divorce filings, he's trying to get as much money as possible from the woman he used to be married to. He and Cardi B were together for almost 7 years and share 3 children: Blossom, Wave, and Culture. These kids are watching everything unfold, while their father reportedly carries nearly $1 million dollars in gambling debt, hundreds of thousands in tax liens, and the weight of a shooting over money he borrowed and didn't pay back. What happens next is still up in the air. Will Cardi agree to a massive settlement? Will Offset use the money to clear debts or just gamble it away? If past patterns are anything to go by, and addictive behavior rarely changes without intervention, that money may just disappear too. As Cardi said herself on that X Spaces livestream, this isn't a love story anymore, it's a hostage negotiation, and the ransom is millions of dollars that Offset needs to survive the chaos he's created. If you found this breakdown shocking, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment with your thoughts on Offset's situation. What do you think happens next? Let's get the conversation started.